Hey everybody, welcome back. These are some monster in-laws that ruined the wedding.
Compilation.
Am I the a-hole for giving my future mother-in-law 3 days to pay me for a new wedding dress, or else I will show the family photo of her wearing it? I'm feeling delightfully sassy this morning. I'm in a mood. Let's get into it. So, I'm getting married to my fiance soon. I bought my wedding dress weeks ago. My future mother-in-law, kept pestering me about trying it on, but I firmly refused. I finally shut it down after she offered me $100 to let her try it on. The f*** you doing that for? Why do you want to try it on? Her reason for persisting so much? Well, she says it's because of her love for wedding dresses and her obsession with them. Yeah, I don't think you should be like trying on someone else's wedding dress. Like, if you like wedding dresses that much, just like go to a store and try some on. Although I wouldn't really condone that because, you know, then you're kind of wasting their time unless you're getting married. But anyway, strange. Off to a strange start. Fast forward to yesterday, I came home from work early and I found my fiance at home. He freaked out after seeing me and tried to prevent me from going into my room while trying to text somebody on his phone. Please tell me what I think is happening is not happening. Please say it ain't so. I will not go into that room and see my dress on. I opened the door and was shocked to see his mom standing there wearing my dress. Yes. I instantly pulled out my phone and took a photo of her in it. She and my fiance freaked out after I told her she needed to pay me for a new dress in 3 days, or else I'll show the whole family the photo. Okay, well, did she break the dress? I mean, okay, she broke your trust, which I think is the important thing here. She started crying and then left, and my fiance blew up at me saying I can't be serious and that I overreacted because his mom just wanted to try the dress on. No harm done. Well, there is harm done if you had a problem with it and you expressed a boundary and she went ahead and broke that boundary. Broke the boundary? We're breaking boundaries right now? Going against the boundaries? But I refuse to listen to him because in my opinion, the dress should only be worn by the bride and the bride only. Quite frankly, I felt disgusted looking at the dress again and I don't want it anymore. And so I think it's fair that she pays me after she ruined it for me. He yelled at me and told me to wake up and stop treating his mom like that as if she was an enemy. Why is she being like super freaking delusional and trying to try on your dress against your wishes? Like, that's also kind of weird. Why are we not yelling at the mom for doing that? We had a fight after he failed to get me to back down and he's been staying with his mom since then. What a surprise! What a surprise. I felt awful, but I spent $3,000 on this dress and I worked hard to get it. I can't stand looking at it, but people in my family think I'm escalating things and risking my relationship with not only my future mother-in-law, but my fiance as well. It's not about her trying on the dress, it's about her going against your wishes and ignoring a boundary that you have set, that you feel uncomfortable with. What other boundaries is she going to push? This is only the beginning. Update, oh my God, this blew up and I thought I'd add some updates. My fiance called and offered to pay for the dress himself so we can end the conflict, but he wants me to, number one, hand him my phone so he can delete the photo himself. Okay, back that up somewhere, use it for a rainy day. Swear that I don't have any copies to use against his mom later. You can lie. Apologize to his mom. I'm sorry, is the mom also apologizing to you? And lastly, he asked that I quit his family group chat and log out of Facebook for at least a month. I haven't responded yet. Yeah, you can't marry this person. He can go marry his mom since he's taking sides. P.S. He called with his offer/conditions hours ago, but I didn't want to include it in the post, and now I did. I'm not sure if I'll agree because I don't want him to pay for it. I want his mom, the one who wore it, to pay for it. Not being vicious, but trying to hold her accountable. I don't think she needs to pay for the dress. Like, I understand that you don't like looking at it and stuff. I think she needs to apologize, and that could maybe be a common ground. And I also think your fiance needs to apologize too, and tell his mom to stop being delulu. You're not the a-hole in my eyes, but let's see what Reddit had to say. Quiet, settle down. Not the a-hole, but are you sure you want to marry this guy? He stood guard outside your bedroom so his mother could try on your wedding dress. That's a good point. Yeah. Do you think he will ever stand up for you against her? No, I don't. When you have a mother like this who's really, really controlling, unfortunately, you do need to call out this behavior. And you need to seriously think about marrying this person because it's not going to end here. His mother is controlling, manipulative, and deceitful and will probably be an absolutely horrible mother-in-law should OP choose to go through with this marriage. Send the photo to everyone invited with an announcement that regretfully you will no longer be participating. Send the photo to everyone invited with the announcement that, regretfully, you will no longer be participating in the wedding, but you wish the couple the best. The happy couple! Why does your future mother-in-law want to put on your dress that her son is going to marry you in? That's weird. That's weird. There's something seriously strange and psychological going on here. I'm not sure what. Ain't a psychologist, ain't a psychiatrist. I ain't gonna diagnose it. All I know is it's weird. I don't know. Is canceling the wedding too harsh? Is asking the mother-in-law to pay for the dress too harsh? Is there another way of dealing with it? Should the wedding be called off? You let me know. But for now, you're not the a-hole. My mother-in-law booked the room next to our bridal suite the night of the wedding. Oh, that's so weird. My fiance and I are getting married in 3 weeks, and as of yesterday, I have simply had it with my mother-in-law. I went to visit our wedding venue in March and had expressed my excitement to meet the mother-in-law about seeing the place and that the honeymoon suite was in a separate cottage with 2 bridal suites, and that we would potentially book both to get ready in and have more privacy. I was shocked when the venue coordinator told me she booked the adjoining suite room. After speaking with her on the phone for 40 minutes, clearly knowing what room it is. I was annoyed, but decided I wouldn't say anything and switched our rooms. Where's this going? Okay. I should also mention that she kept asking us to invite more of her friends, even though 43 of the 100 guests invited are her friends and family. Oy, in April, she threw me a bridal shower, which was very nice, but again, it was all of her friends, and I knew less than half of the people there. What's with all these mother-in-laws thinking that this, weddings are about them? I understand it's important to invite family, but why are we inviting family over friends that we actually see to our weddings? My mother was flying up from South Carolina, and it would be the last time I saw her until the wedding. My mom doesn't travel solo often. I wanted to pick her up and drop her off at the airport and give her peace of mind, and could spend some time together before the busy weekend. Had I known the drama that would follow, I would have never agreed to the shower at all. My mother-in-law called up my fiance crying because I wanted to pick my mother up from the airport. I was speechless. Yeah, I'm kind of speechless too. What is happening here? Why are we upset about that? I then agreed to only drop her off, which sent her into more of a spiral. What? She kept saying we were just not going to spend enough time with her, but she's not your mother! Even though I was barely going to see my mom at all, and we were staying the entire weekend. We live in NYC and have since made the second trip to see them in MA. And immediately upon arrival, she demands that we make a holiday plans with them. During breakfast, my fiance invited his parents up to NYC to stay with us one more time before the wedding. I was very angry as he'd not consulted me about this, and we were also in the middle of packing. They came last week and attended our marriage at the courthouse. That evening, we left for Chicago and they stayed in my apartment for one night. So, to summarize, not only have they seen us 2 more times since the shower, she's already planning her stay in our new Chicago apartment for Thanksgiving. When I began to unpack, I was absolutely stunned at what I had saw. I found a picture of my fiance's deceased grandparents very neatly placed in his underwear drawer. That's not what I want to see when I'm looking for my underwear, I'm just saying. I was speechless. I sent a photo in our group chat to mother-in-law and my fiance, and she confirmed that she had just put it there after it, quote, fell out from her purse. Not only was this just a bizarre move, she clearly gone through our personal belongings and violated our personal space. I was absolutely irate, and I told my fiance she's not to contact me until after the wedding and we can sit down and establish some very clear boundaries. Why do mother-in-laws have such a problem with expressing boundaries? Mother-in-laws and mothers have problems with you expressing boundaries, especially as an adult. It's like they get mad when we grow up and we don't want to be treated like children anymore. And then of course, if we call it out, then we're ungrateful. You ungrateful! No, I just don't. I'm a 30 100-year-old woman. I don't need a mother anymore. Well, I do, but you get what I'm saying. This is a very watered down version of everything that has happened, but I'm fed up. She sent me a text apologizing today, but she's done similar things before and still refuses to respect boundaries. I'm not sure what to do. She's been adding more stress to the wedding, but I don't want to come off as the bad guy, as she often plays the victim and makes the situations all about her. I think there's definitely some empty nest syndrome happening here. Definitely something that hasn't been resolved within about her little boy growing up. I think to a certain extent it's nice that she wants to spend time with you, but the problem with someone who's overbearing like this is that they take you and your priorities and not wanting to see them as kind of like an offense. Like you're offending them by not being available every time that you want to see them, which is not the case. It's just like, I just don't necessarily want to be BFFs with my fiance's mom is what I think is going on here. I also think it's super weird that she booked the suite next to you guys, like especially the wedding night. Like, I'm sorry, but like I would not be able to enjoy my wedding night if I knew that my mother-in-law was in the suite next door, like likely sharing a wall. Or maybe I would just be extra loud. I also strongly believe that you should get together with your family. It's important to spend time with family, but like not to the point that the rest of your relationships suffer, not to the point where you feel like every time you do something and you're out of the house that you're with your, significant other's family. Like, I love my family, but I don't want to hang out with them like every other day. You know what I'm saying? We drive each other crazy. It's a healthy space. My mother-in-law interrupted our wedding vows and yelled at my husband at our wedding. Oh dear Lord, there really is a time and a place, isn't there? And it certainly is not a wedding. First time poster, so please be kind. I'm struggling with the fallout from my new mother-in-law's behavior at our wedding. I could post an essay about her behavior since then, but have decided to keep it to the behavior surrounding the wedding for now. I'm massively concerned about the effect it could have on my relationship with my husband, and feel the need to seek advice from others in similar situations. Names and locations have been omitted to protect the innocent. Haha. My husband and I met in graduate school and we were instantly connected. He'd moved here from a surrounding state and I've lived here my whole life. We dated for 6 years before we got married and his mother was never really an issue. His parents would come visit once in a while and we would go visit them. There were some red flags with his mother in terms of her drinking, but I honestly never gave it a second thought at the time. Once we got engaged though, everything changed. Okay. That's weird. Interesting timing. His mother suddenly became incredibly needy and manipulative, even though they didn't live in the same state. Everything comes with a side of guilt. Her side of the family started causing issues because we were not inviting children to our wedding. In our defense, it was a black tie evening wedding. We did not feel it was appropriate for children. Yeah, and it's your wedding, so it's your choice. Let me be clear, we love children, but decided not to invite them to our wedding. But my mother-in-law took it upon herself to confront me on this without her son's knowledge and try to coerce me into allowing her side of the family to bring their children, even though I had made it clear to her in a kind way that no children were being invited on both sides. So is she like paying for this wedding? Or like, why does she think she has the right to decide who the guest list is? I'm just wondering, because I feel like maybe that changes things if she's paying for it. But if she's not, that's another story. She and her family continued to push the issue to the point where my husband and I offered to pay for a babysitter so that the parents could attend. This was rejected. That was way too nice of you, by the way. That's not your responsibility. This was rejected, and some members of her family opted to not attend our wedding because children weren't invited. Good. Whatever, like literally good. Which was hurtful and, in my opinion, a little ridiculous. Oh, she's just off there talking so much about it. It was the source of a lot of drama leading up to the wedding. Throughout the planning process, I attempted to include my mother-in-law from afar, sending her pictures and updates so she would feel included because she doesn't have a daughter and always wanted one. That's what it is. She thinks that she's your mother now and that she can control you in the same way that she controls everybody else. The week before the wedding, I sent her a bouquet of white flowers to make her feel special. Nice, but you're also reinforcing bad behavior. You're rewarding her for bad behavior. I do it too, by the way. Disease to please. It's not good. It's not good. We gotta stop pleasing other people. Learning this now. Then came the wedding weekend. We had our rehearsal dinner and then opened it up for all of our guests to come for welcome drinks. It was all very elegant and going well until my mother-in-law's side of the family showed up. All of the women showed up wearing white, which is a big no where I come from, not just where you come from, babe, where everybody comes from. This was in protest for us not allowing children at the wedding. Shut up. That is so messed up. This was pointed out to me by our friends from graduate school, and it was humiliating and petty. Not in a good way, by the way. I said my hellos and could tell some of them felt bad and went back to the hotel to get my beauty rest for the big day. On the day of the wedding, things were going well. I was in a suite with my family and friends getting ready, and my husband was in a separate suite with his family and friends getting ready. All was good. The ceremony started, and when it was my turn to walk down the aisle, I couldn't have been more excited. We lost 3 grandparents between the 2 years leading up to our wedding, and we decided to honor them by acknowledging them at the start of our wedding ceremony. Once they were mentioned, my mother-in-law got up out of her seat, approached us at the altar, and interrupted our wedding to say that an aunt who had passed away wasn't mentioned. Okay. Inappropriate. My husband immediately told her to sit down, but the damage was done. And guests thought she was objecting to our marriage. Oh my gosh. No. It was mortifying. My husband is pretty sure she was mixing alcohol with her medications, but claims it was not the case. When I had my first dance with my father, she got up, turned back to us, and proceeded to walk around the tables her family was seated at. Oh, hell no. No. You say you live far away, move further. She was the only person standing and not paying attention. My husband and my mother-in-law had discussed what song they would dance to for their first dance months in advance of the wedding, and he ultimately selected the song she wanted. However, right before it was her turn to dance, she angrily accused him of lying to her and choosing a different song. Oh, this is hella messy. My husband has the text messages from her requesting the song that he selected, so this was completely untrue. She often lies to get what she wants, which has continued since the wedding. It got to the point where he had to say, "Mom, why are you ruining my wedding?" to her while they were dancing. We had to edit her behavior throughout the night from our wedding video. This woman had such a negative impact on us in other ways as well. I'm wondering if there is a way to get past the way she treated us at our wedding. You move across the world.
My toxic cousin just uninvited me from her wedding that's literally this Sunday that I already paid $800 to fly to in Maine because she didn't like my outfit. This is the dress. It's literally $3,000. Yves Saint Laurent. Can't return it. She is insisting that it is too white. This is a white piece of paper. Are these the same color? Literally no. This is a cream dress. It is also knee length. Is she gonna wear a knee length wedding dress? Like, I'm sorry. Anyway, Janelle, if you're seeing this, I hope your wedding sucks and you get divorced.
Listen, babe, I hate to break it to you, but that's a pretty freaking white dress. It sucks that it's an expensive dress and you can't return it, but you can wear it somewhere other than a wedding.
Like hell.
Literally, no white, no off-white, no cream, no eggshell. Some even grays are a little bit too white. Do not wear white to a wedding. Let's see if people agree. You also got like some kind of attitude on you, girl. Like at first I was like, wow, that's extreme to not invite you. And like, holy crap, you don't need to act that way. That looks like a Shein wedding dress. Oh no. I'll leave that there. Team cousin here, don't wear white or off-white for a wedding. It is tacky, period. The real issue is that Camp Rock dress costing $3,000. Oh my God. Let's take another look. Let's take another look, skis, at this dress, skis. All right, let's stick to the story. The problem is that she's wearing an off-white dress to a wedding. You can't. Nope, I'm with your cousin. Definitely too white. Girl, you're in the wrong. Come on now. Do not wear white to a wedding! Or you'll end up on my channel. Not a threat, just a fact.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Am I the a-hole for suing my parents for my college money? That's a little extreme, but okay, let's, You may be seated.
She hasn't made an appearance in a while.
My great aunt set up a savings account for all of her female relatives. In our culture, education for women, it's not really valued, and she thought that was BS. She lived with her father in London where she was educated. She went on to attend university and become a doctor. She married a British man. They moved to America and had a great life. She funded the education of as many of her nieces and grandnieces as she could. When she passed away, she left money for every girl relative she could. My parents managed to access the accounts that were set up for my sister and I. They used it to pay for my brother's wedding. My sister didn't care because she got married 2 years out of high school and had no intention of going to college. When I graduated, I went to the bank to get money for school and it was almost gone. There was like $13,000 left. I asked my parents about it and they said they had needed the money. I finally found out where the money went. I got furious. I got student loans and moved out. I'm a great source of shame to them and I don't give 2 fricks. I'm sorry, needed the money for what? That was your money. That's yours, babe, not theirs.
Yes, that's actually why we're here.
I'm currently suing them for the money that was left for me. My entire family's against me. But like, they also got the money though, right? I'm sure they would feel differently if they also didn't get the money. They all think I'm a complete a-hole for airing private family business in public. Yeah, but they're also an a-hole for stealing your money. I always find it super funny when people are like, you're embarrassing me. Like, I'm so mad at you for You're embarrassing yourself.
Facts.
Why are you embarrassed about something that you did? Why are you embarrassed about what people think about it? Oh, because it's horrible and that I'm putting money ahead of family. Interesting choice of words. My friends are all on my side, but they're all Americans and don't really get my culture. Neither do I, to be honest.
I can relate to that.
My brother called me up and offered to pay for my university if I dropped the lawsuit. I agreed as long as we had a legally binding contract. Contract, that's what's up. I love contracts. I love a good contract.
Weirdo.
He said I was being an a-hole for not trusting him. No, contracts. I said he should not have accepted my money for his wedding. Ah, that's where the money went. Got it.
Excuse me, we just went over this.
It is causing all kinds of embarrassment in our community. I'm somewhat ashamed to be doing this, but I don't want to have this debt I should not have. I fail to understand why they thought it was okay to give all of your college money to your brother so he could have a wedding. Like at first I was going to be like, but no, why all of it? Why couldn't you have split it? No, you're not the a-hole, dear, but like, let's figure out what everybody else had to say. Because like, I feel like this is like a reasonable reason to sue your parents. Not the a-hole. Your parents didn't borrow your money. They stole it. Period. I hope you have all the documents to show that money was yours. Your brother is also the a-hole for trying to get you to drop a lawsuit with what is mostly a lie. See, this is why you don't trust me. Yeah, I don't trust you guys. That's why I want it in writing. If you have a chance to start a life without student debt, you do whatever you can to do that. Your parents, and I'm sorry about their culture, sound completely toxic. I'm glad you got out. The student law center at my university is helping me with everything. I have proof that the money was mine. I'm trying to do everything I can so this does not become a criminal matter. What I don't understand is like, why is it that you had to like go to the bank account and try to take out money for you to finally find out that there was no money? Like, why is it that that wasn't articulated to you that, you know, oh, like, I'm so sorry. Would it be okay if we used your money to help pay for your brother's wedding? We'll pay you back, etc., etc. No. They didn't tell you because they stole it. I'm sorry, but this is a criminal matter. If this was for an American university, you're talking $200K to $300K. Theft of that much is jail time. Yeah, he's not wrong. And to spend on a wedding, a total waste of money. Yeah, that's an obscene amount of money to spend on a wedding. Like an education will help you for the rest of your life. A wedding has a 50% chance of ending in divorce. You're always gonna have your college degree. You're not always gonna be married. I mean, I hope you are, genuinely, but like, you might not be. It's just statistics, so don't blame me.
I like those odds.
I'm kind of confused as to why this family thinks that a wedding is way more important than like a college education. Like, if you don't have the money for a big wedding, don't have a big wedding. You're not the a-hole, my dear. I hope you get that money back. Sue 'em all! When you see it, say, got it. Is that the groom, I assume? I got it. You know, there's like a camera like taking a photo of you, right? Like you couldn't keep that in private or like not do it at all. That's messy. You guys are messy. Am I the a-hole for uninviting my mother-in-law for my wedding after she tried to sabotage my wedding dress? My future mother-in-law has never been a fan of me for the entire duration of mine and my fiance's relationship. I'm not sure exactly why she's always disliked me, because that's her job, babe. She's your mother-in-law.
Checks out.
And been cold to me, but after multiple attempts over the years to build some type of relationship with her, we've been together for 4 years, nothing has worked. She couldn't give two shices about me up until the wedding planning started a few months ago. My fiance and I are paying for the majority of the wedding ourselves, while my dad and stepmom are financially contributing as well. Mother-in-law and father-in-law have not contributed at all, but mother-in-law is giving her opinion on everything as if she's footing the bill. Oh, that's fun. You should make the themes this color. Make sure you have this dish on the menu. Do not do an open bar. You don't want people being too rowdy. Excuse me. Stay in your lane. Make sure me and my sister and my cousin are sitting front row at the wedding ceremony. No, sorry, that's reserved for people we like. My fiance and I are absolutely sick of this. Every time she tries to give an opinion, we politely shut it down and tell her we have it under control, but she never gets the hint. Well, then you gotta spell it out.
Get it off!
Before she became such a nightmare, I regretfully invited her to come dress shopping because I didn't want her to feel left out. While a few weeks ago we went dress shopping, my mom and close friends came too, and I found my dream wedding dress. I have a curvy hourglass figure, and I found a dress that shows off my figure perfectly and makes me feel gorgeous. Period, babe. That's what's up. The dress is kind of revealing, low cut on the chest and mermaid style, but it's nothing I'd be ashamed of my family and friends seeing me in. My mother-in-law, on the other hand, hated the dress I chose. She made sure to express that to me multiple times. She even went as far as to say, this is a wedding, not a strip club. I don't like it.
Well, then you don't have to come.
That's what she said.
I bought the dress anyway since I'm the one paying for it after all. Yeah, and it's your wedding. You can wear whatever the hell you damn well please. Last night, my fiance are cleaning up after dinner and I receive a call from the shop I ordered my dress from. They called me concerned because apparently a lady, my mother-in-law, called pretending to be me and wanted to switch the dress I chose to a more appropriate dress. I'm sorry, what? Absolutely not. The sales associate realized that it wasn't my phone number that called to make the change and called me immediately to confirm before they changed the order. I was livid. My fiance heard the entire conversation and was livid as well. He called his mom to confront her. She fessed up after denying it a few times. I told her if she's so bothered by the dress to consider herself uninvited from the wedding and hung up on her. That's good. I agree with this. And it's not about her, like, not agreeing with the dress. It's also about her, like, blatantly disrespecting you, too. Like, telling you that you look like a slut in a dress that you really liked. Can we, like, remove that word from our vocabulary? No need for it to be there. Safe to say she's not happy. She's been calling both my husband and I nonstop to try and defend herself, but I've had enough. But did she apologize? I feel bad for my fiance because he won't get to have his planned dance with her. Did I take it too far? Am I the a-hole? No, you're not. Being invited to a wedding is a privilege. Just because you're family, that doesn't mean that you are entitled to an invite.
What's that supposed to mean?
And you are certainly not entitled to an invite if you acted like a crazy bitch.
Crazy! People be out here acting crazy!
Let's see what Reddit had to say. Not the a-hole, I would have done the same thing, but you and your fiance need to be in lockstep on this. So if he starts hedging, don't go through with the wedding until you're both on the same page. I know it's probably gonna be hard for him because it is his mom at the end of the day. However, if she doesn't apologize and doesn't change her ways, then like, it's literally no fault but her own. The consequences of your actions. I am glad that your fiance seems to support you on this. It would have been all kinds of a disaster if he didn't support you and didn't see where his mother-in-law was in the wrong. Making this decision without unilateral support of the fiance is a recipe for disaster. This is his mom and his wedding too. He needs to be the one to make the final call with you, or it will start this marriage off with a resentment from him. Not the a-hole though would be my reaction as well. If he's not on the same page, then perhaps she needs to rethink who she's marrying. I think that y'all should wait until she apologizes. Because if she hasn't apologized, then she doesn't think that she did anything wrong, which is the problem. You know, if that apology was genuine, I would reconsider. Genuinely. People who are big enough to apologize, it's a good thing. It shows character, it shows you're willing to take responsibility and learn from your mistakes. It helps in like every situation if you're having a fight. But if you do not apologize, that resentment just builds up and it just means that you're not sorry. You're not the a-hole, my dear.
Do we got time for one more? I'm on a roll right now.
There's always room for one more.
Am I the a-hole for refusing to attend my twin brother's wedding? Messy, messy. I, 21 male, first started dating my now ex-girlfriend when we were both 16. However, we made the decision to break up before heading off to college when we were 18. I decided to go a few hours away while she decided to stay local. Also note that my girlfriend was very close with my family, so this was hard on my family as well. When returning home for my first year of college, oh no. Oh no. My brother surprised me with the news that he'd been dating a girl for over 6 months now. Only problem, it was my ex-girlfriend. Oh, that is all kinds of weird, honey. All kinds of freaky.
Why would you date an amateur when you could date a professional?
I was obviously pissed, and my brother understood, but made it clear he had no intention of breaking up with her. That doesn't, like, gross you out? Like, what? That is so, like... Eventually, we came to the agreement that we would continue our relationship if he never mentioned her to me or made us interact. He happily agreed to these terms. However, recently my brother surprised me with the news that the two of them are now engaged. Wow. It's always weird when there's a love triangle with, you know, a sibling. He wants me to be his best man. Oh, fun. That's fun. I told him absolutely not, as you should, babe. He and I agreed from the beginning that I would not have to attend any event where my ex would be there. My whole family's calling me selfish and telling me that I can suck it up for one night, but I just don't feel comfortable in being the best man at my ex's wedding.
You got yourself into quite a little predicament, didn't you?
Am I the a-hole for refusing to go to the wedding and be his best man? For clarification, yes, we are identical twins. Oh, that is so gross. Oh, all kinds of freaky. It seems like you're the only one that has a reasonable brain. I am really grossed out by this. You were really young when you guys first met. right? The ex-girlfriend, I mean. It would have been one thing if like you really, you were with this person for a really long time. I'm glad that they didn't cheat, because that would have been even more messy. And you also did break up with her. So it would have been another thing if you were like in love with this girl, etc., etc. I still think it's weird. Like, how did that conversation come about? Like, how did that come about? Not the a-hole, those were your terms. He agreed to them, end of story. OP, who cares who was the a-hole here? It's done. She is gonna be your sister-in-law. That is a good point. I do think that I agree. You do have to like talk to him about it, as weird as it is. You don't have to be besties, but I mean to never go to like another Christmas or family dinner or anything again. I agree. It's weird and you're not in the wrong for feeling like it's weird. It is, but it doesn't necessarily seem like he's gonna be breaking up with her. So it likely has nothing to do with him not moving on from his ex. Yeah, I mean, he could not be over her. That's one thing. But the fact that his brother and longtime ex-girlfriend started dating within the year of them breaking up. Honestly, it's freaking disgusting what they did, and OP's in the right for not wanting to be involved in a relationship based on such a huge betrayal to him, and just honestly feeling like kind of grossed out. Like, that's icky. You're not the a-hole, but you need to figure out if you want your brother in your life or not. You gotta figure out if you're willing to get over it, because yeah, it's gross. My in-laws went full circus at my wedding to try and make it their own.
Uh-oh, I smell some a-hole, and it stinks.
Hey everyone, it's a little long, so I apologize in advance. You are forgiven. So let me start by saying that this happened last December, but the dust has just recently settled, which is why I'm writing it now. My wedding, apart from everything that I'm about to tell you, was a magical day. I got to marry the person that I love, surrounded by my friends and family in a beautiful wedding that my partner and I designed. But truly, if it hadn't been my big day, I probably would have found it funny, but instead it was like living through a reality show gone wrong. Let me start off by giving some context.
I like context.
I do love the context. My partner's parents never really had a wedding of their own. They got married in a courthouse. There's nothing wrong with that though, because they were pregnant and had to rush things. They didn't have money to spend on an event, so they decided to keep it simple. And they would do something big later on to renew their vows or something else. But they kept popping out children, 8 to be exact.
Ooh, that's it?
What are your expectations of me?
I want a dozen kids. I want a kid for every egg. I buy a carton of eggs and cook one egg for each child.
So they never got the chance. Whenever they tell their wedding story, they always say that they remember it fondly and that it was one of the best days of their life, so no one knew or expected what they would do. I never had the best relationship with my mother-in-law or father-in-law. They have that weird relationship with their children where they're just a little too close and it gets weird sometimes. When speaking about each child's respective partners, they always throw around phrases like, if I was dating you, I wouldn't be. Or, why can't you date someone more like me? Which kind of freaks the partners and I out, but we look past it.
Oh, God.
I don't like this.
This is weird.
This is very weird. When my partner proposed to me, it was one of the best days of my life. He did it on one of our favorite mountain spots with our dogs, and I cried. He hadn't told anyone except my mom and my best friend that he was proposing. He told his mother at Friday dinner, and she was fuming. Was she jealous of something?
Fuming? Oh, maybe because of the late notice?
No, she's jealous. It's kind of like a weird Oedipus complex thing, but like she can't control the situation anymore, or she's a boy mom and she's like low-key jealous. She didn't even try to hide how angry she was. I can understand being upset because he didn't tell her, but she went on and on about how she believed that she deserved to be there as much as I did, and that she wanted to get proposed to as well.
What?
By your son? By who?
Oh, this is getting super weird.
This is weird, man. You're weird. When asked, she said that I should be the one to propose to her, to ask her if she would be my mother-in-law.
Jesus.
No, that's weird, and I said so, and I told her it was a little silly, and she just stormed out of the room. We never spoke about the incident again. A few months later, when we had set a date for the wedding in December, every time we would hang out with the in-laws, they started making comments about what they would have done if they had gotten the chance to design a wedding. Things like a tropical paradise theme, getting married on a sunny beach, serving pina coladas, etc. Wow, a beach wedding? So original.
So original, wow.
Flowers for spring? Groundbreaking.
You crazy.
No hate to people who get married on a beach, but it's just like she's saying it as like, oh, I'm better than you because I would want to get married on a beach. My partner and I have nothing against beaches, but we prefer the cold. So does Mike.
I didn't expect that.
We literally live in a fridge.
I can see my breath when I sleep, and I love it.
If Mike could sleep in a fridge, he would.
The thing is like if you're too cold, you just put on a blanket. If you're too hot, what do you take off your skin?
You're goddamn right.
So we just smiled and nodded our heads when they made suggestions. We took it as innocent comments by two retired people who have nothing else to do but look at wedding shows on TV. It wasn't until I had to go wedding dress shopping that the issues started. I made the mistake of inviting my mother-in-law and sister-in-law to my dress appointment, thinking it would be a nice way to bond. But no, that would have been too easy.
Oh, God.
We get there and it's all going smoothly. I'm trying on a few dresses I really like, when all of a sudden I hear giggles that I recognize coming from the other side of the store. I asked my friend if she could go and check what was going on, and she found both of them hiding in the dresses that I had already tried on and really liked in a weird storage room that I didn't even know how they got access to.
What?
And replacing them with brightly colored dresses that were more for a prom than a wedding. I didn't really think much of it when they said what they were doing was for my own good because it was embarrassing if I showed up in a white floor-length dress to my wedding on the beach. I corrected them and said it wasn't on the beach and I liked the other ones. They rolled their eyes and walked away. My partner also took them to the cake appointment. He told me that they were insisting on getting a pineapple-filled cake with Hawaiian flowers on it.
Why? No offense to people who like that, but like it's not their cake.
It's not their wedding. It's not their cake. That's bizarre. He also said no and moved on. There were so many of these incidents throughout the span of 3 months that I don't know how we didn't see it. Listen, if you want to have like a ceremony, renewing your vows or something like that, then do that. But don't hijack somebody else's wedding.
Especially if you're old enough to afford your own wedding now.
Maybe that's the thing, right? Like maybe they didn't want to pay for their own.
They have a huge family though. Maybe they just can't afford it.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is fine.
But like then accept it and don't try and hijack somebody else's wedding.
Maybe let's just make sure all our kids have pineapple cake weddings on the beach and they have to propose to me, Mummy.
Cut to the wedding and everything is just perfect. We didn't in fact get married on a beach. We got married in a snowy field. A little impractical and my dress got wet, but I had the best time.
That's so cool.
That is very cool.
I love that.
That's not very traditional and I'm sure you suffered through it because you were cold, but if it's what you wanted, and like think about that, like white dress, white backdrop, like it would be magical. You would look like you were in like a snow globe or something. As everyone is arriving for the ceremony, I'm getting ready with my partner in a little room when my maid of honor bursts through the doors and shows us her phone. She was on FaceTime with another bridesmaid outside so that we could see what was going on. In the middle of a crowd of people wearing neutral and cold colors, I see this figure dressed in a knee-length Hawaiian dress.
What is her obsession with the Hawaiian theme?
What the actual Yeah, I'm sorry, you're kind of embarrassing yourself. Like, not gonna lie, like that's kind of weird. This is why we have dress codes. It's more to protect you from embarrassment than anyone else. It was bright red and did not fit in at all. She was wearing a sun hat. And of course, my father-in-law was wearing something to match her. This isn't a theme party, buddy. I tried to go out and confront her, but I was made to sit back on the phone and watch as my bridesmaids did it for me. They asked her what she was doing, and she said she was told it was a tropical wedding.
What? What are you talking about?
Tropical wedding in the middle of winter. Make her go stand outside in the snow. So it wasn't her fault, but this wedding also needed color because I did it wrong. They kept asking her if she could change and she kept saying no. So I just told them to leave it alone and it was fine. This is almost as bad as showing up in a white dress to your son's wedding.
Wear whatever the hell you want, you just look stupid.
Yeah, literally.
But trying to convince people that the theme was tropical, you're off your
You're
rocker,
the only
buddy.
person that showed up in a tropical garb, in tropical attire, and you're like, oh, I didn't get the memo.
You've had a few too many Mai Tais.
The ceremony went by easily and it was literally the happiest I've been, but obviously didn't go without incident. I found out later, before I walked out, my mother-in-law tried to walk out before me by herself with a bouquet she got out of who knows where because she wanted to make sure the walk was perfect for the bride.
I don't understand. Doesn't the mother-in-law walk anyways?
Does she?
Sometimes, yeah, the parents
will walk with the groom. So she wanted to walk by herself.
Jesus. I hope she got frostbite. Just kidding. I don't wish harm on anybody.
Same thing happened with my father-in-law. He kept trying to stand next to my partner at the altar. So close, he kept pushing him over as if to move. His best man had to physically pull him to his seat. During the walk down the aisle, they both kept talking loudly and voicing their disapproval of my dress, makeup, hair, decorations, etc.
What are you doing?
Oh, dear Lord. This is how to ruin your relationship with your son 101.
Making it about you and not about them. Swallow your pride. Do what they want to do because it's their day, not yours. And fucking grow up.
I would think twice about having a relationship with these people. Like, they're borderline, like, screws loose, you know what I mean? They were also told several times to quiet down, which only pissed them off more. They audibly gasped when we skipped to the part where someone objects to the marriage. They loudly asked in the middle of the ceremony if I was really that insecure that I had to cut that part out.
What the hell?
To which my partner answered that it was his idea and they should shut up, which they promptly did. After that, it was relatively easy. We got married and walked out. On our way to the venue, they insisted we give them our car, which had just married, on the back because we owed them. Owed them what?
Oh my God.
If anything, they owe you an apology. At this point, my partner just kept getting angrier and slammed the door in their face, leaving them to take another car. Once there, we thought that this would be the end. It was not. We sat down at our table and they were the first ones that walked toward us, once again asking if they could sit there instead of us.
I don't understand the logic behind this.
I don't either. Like, I genuinely think these people...
They actually sound insane.
This is crazy.
Do you mind if we actually take your rings for you?
Yeah, would you mind if I had your wedding ring?
Yeah, why don't I actually marry
No, but listen to this. They said, can we sit there instead of us because it was only fair that we had our ceremony so they get the reception.
What the fuck are you talking about?
How are you not embarrassed? Like, usually it's just one in-law that's like crazy and delusional. The fact that they're both acting like this is like...
Well, it's like, I don't understand what your motivation is here.
I don't
It's
know
like,
either.
Oh, this will be fun. It's a family affair.
Like a double wedding type thing? Yeah, that needs to be discussed, and I would say no.
You're just pushing your son away.
Yeah,
and
literally.
Your future daughter-in-law.
They literally said, don't worry, we'll still take it, even though you screwed up the tropical theme with a big smile on their faces. You're done. You're done. My jaw dropped and the husband started to raise his voice when one of his brothers came over and took them away. They tried to come over during the meal, but were blocked by bridesmaids. So they had to wait until our first dance. We started dancing, it was lovely. And then when all of a sudden out of the corner of my eye, I see two figures swaying.
Swaying?
They like got on the dance floor during the couple's first dance.
Oh my God. I think that would be it for me. Gone.
Yeah, honestly, you're
Gone.
done. Like,
You're
get
gone.
security over here. Seriously. I look over and see them bumping into people trying to get into the literal spotlight my partner and I were dancing in. Once again, they had to be held back. No, kick them the fuck out. You're done. Enough chances. Get security.
This needs to be turned into like a TV show or something. This is insane.
This continued and they looked ridiculous each time. That's what I don't get, is that they're embarrassing themselves through all of this. They look batshit crazy.
They look insane. What do the other siblings think about this? What about like her parents?
I mean, obviously everybody can see how actually unhinged this is. They constantly tried to lure the photographers away to take their wedding pictures and got mad even when they told them that they weren't getting married. And another fun thing, they got caught by some of the waitstaff trying to switch our cake with the pineapple cake they wanted in the beginning. We were told, and before I could say something, my husband literally pushed them out of the venue into a taxi that was parked in the entrance. He said they kept arguing and saying I had ruined their special day, and they paid them no mind and went back after sending them away. Did you send them to a loony bin?
Send them to Arkham Asylum.
I know,
Jesus,
God.
holy.
After that, everything went by smoothly until it was time for the bouquet toss. As I turned around to throw it,
I think I know where this is going.
yeah, I think I do too. I feel my veil being ripped out of my hair. No, I didn't know where that was going. Oopsie. I turn around and I see my mother-in-law with my veil in her hand, waving it around, yelling in happiness, saying she won. You don't throw the veil, you throw the bouquet, you nut job. Four of my partner's friends had to hold him back because he was about to lunge at his mother. She kept saying that it was an old tradition that whoever got the bride's veil gets the honeymoon. I've never heard of that in my life. The cops were called and took both of them away. Yeah, honestly.
Jesus Christ.
My mother-in-law for the veil thing and my father-in-law for driving under the influence, because while the taxi took them home, they drove back. Nothing happened after that. We had a great time with my veil on my head, and then my partner and I left. He was very mad and actually convinced me to press charges and file a restraining order about 2 months later because they kept showing up at our house, throwing wedding cake at our house, and that's it. My wedding drama.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That is so crazy. Girl, I am so sorry you had to go through this. This is one of the crazier wedding stories I think I've ever heard.
Oh my God.
Because it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it is so unbelievably unhinged.
I can't picture my parents doing that. Can you picture your parents doing
No,
that?
because it is batshit crazy.
It'd be cabbage rolls, actually, instead of Hawaiian.
Yeah, true. My dad
Charlotte!
swaps out the steak for the cabbage rolls.
I love your dad's cabbage rolls.
I will willingly have cabbage rolls at our wedding. Like, that is not something that I will fight. Also, most of their family have cut ties with them. Also, Charlotte, we love you in your videos. Oh, thank you for watching. I appreciate you.
What about me? What about me. I'm just kidding. I do care, but it's okay. I'm just a guest star.
So some context here. As you can probably guess, they got really drunk. We didn't have a set limit for guests on how much they could drink, but we did tell the bartenders to judge whether someone should still be drinking. My in-laws were told they couldn't drink anymore up to 5 times, after which they got into the bartender's van in which they brought everything. No one realized until after the event when we were looking at security footage. The bartender said it was fine, but we paid them a little more for the inconvenience. I'm sorry, but being drunk does not excuse this behavior because all of this was like premeditated. The clothes they were wearing,
even the dress shopping.
Yeah,
like,
the dress shopping, that happened before the wedding. The clothes they wore to the wedding, that happened before. They had to pick that before. The wedding cake, they had to plan that beforehand.
Yeah, they tried to swap it out. Are you insane?
Yeah, no, you're crazy.
Also, yeah, showing up to the wedding. I imagine they were somewhat sober.
Yeah.
For the ceremony, and they were fully in like a red dress. Like
I wouldn't put it past them. I don't know.
God, yeah, maybe.
They also behaved so childishly. During the meal, they were throwing their food at other guests, which was actually really embarrassing. They kept saying it was because my mother-in-law could have cooked better or she would have chosen something different.
These people sound insane. I know I sound like a broken record, but these people sound insane.
And finally, they both got into a fight with my mother. Apparently, my mother-in-law came up to my mother to discuss the ceremony and started saying how I looked puffy and the dress didn't fit me well. I was 3 months pregnant and we hadn't told anyone except my mother and some of my partner's siblings. And I didn't think I was showing. My mom didn't say anything until she started saying how I was in this marriage for convenience and just overall things about me. My mother told me she almost slapped her but chose to throw a drink on her and they didn't speak again.
Man,
wow.
I feel bad for this groom.
Imagine this happens and then you literally can't speak to your parents again. How are you lacking this much self-awareness?
Well, I'm sorry you had to go through that. That's terrible. I don't wish that upon anybody. Now your special day is tainted. I'm sure the rest of the night was fun, but like the fallout, the next few days, security cameras, like come on.
Next few years, realistically, like you don't have a relationship with your husband's parents anymore. Like that's sad.
They're throwing cake at your house?
Yeah, that's crazy. You just gotta laugh at it, you know what I mean? I cannot believe that this actually happened.
This one was invented by a writer.
I'm surprised that you actually let them sit. Like, you're a better person than me. If someone was behaving like this, like, what would have been the last straw for you? I feel like the last straw for me would be to like be loudly making comments while I was walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
That's like, you're done.
Yeah, 100%.
You're literally done. Like you're kicked out. You have security. Like they escort you out.
That is the most insane story I think I've ever heard.
For those of you who are watching who have, kids getting married, they have significant others, maybe you don't like them, don't do this because this makes you look like you're in the wrong.
Don't try and fix the problem yourself.
Just accept it. Hope that maybe one day they'll get divorced.
Or maybe realize that you misunderstood them and
maybe you
can
did
grow to like them.
Maybe they are genuinely not good for your son or daughter. Or maybe you can just kind of suck it up and try to have a relationship with them without acting like a total nutcase. Shall we do another one?
Sure.
My mother-in-law ruined my wedding and made me want to leave.
I think I've seen this film before.
About a week before my wedding, my mom and I, 22 female, went to David's Bridal for a final dress fitting / pickup. My mother-in-law hadn't seen the dress yet due to her work schedule, so I asked her if she wanted to and see it on because it was her off day. I assumed my mother-in-law would tell me she loved the dress and maybe even tear up a little. When she got to David's Bridal, she told me she could find a better looking dress from the thrift store and told me not to worry, that she'll be on the lookout for me. Okay, it really doesn't matter if you don't like a dress on somebody, like especially a wedding dress. What matters is the bride likes it.
Also, don't say that. If you don't like
Don't
it,
say
be
that.
gentle.
Just fucking keep it to yourself.
Just say like, oh, that's nice, but
No buts. Literally no buts.
yeah, it's true. You're right.
Fucking fake it if you have to. Even say, oh. Or just be fucking happy for people.
Just be happy.
Just
let
be
them pick
happy,
their own
like for
thing.
sakes. Let me mind you, this dress was already purchased and she was aware of that. I brushed it off and laughed awkwardly and let it go. Cut to the day of the wedding. My husband and I were having the wedding at his grandma's house on his mom's side of the family, since she had this beautiful piece of land and a huge gazebo.
It's a funny word, gazebo. I don't know if we did
It's
this in our
spelled
last
funny
video
too.
with saying wasps.
Wasps.
Wasps. Do you think wasps whisper?
No, but flies fart.
So do herringfish.
Anything with a digestive system farts.
Oh, look at us. A match made in gassy heaven.
The morning of, my mom, myself, and my mother-in-law planned to get to my husband's grandma's house to start decorating the gazebo.
Damn it, the gazebo's back.
My mom and I arrived on time to start decorating with the mother-in-law nowhere to be found. About an hour later, my mother-in-law shows up and starts to look around at the work we'd done so far. She looks at me and says, gonna be honest, these decorations are tacky. Then where were you?
Where were you in the ideation process, okay?
Literally, that is the equivalent of like watching someone clean and saying, you missed a spot. I looked over at my mom and we gave each other the, did she really just effing say that face? Let's give each other that face. Ready? We just turned our backs and kept working and didn't respond. Again, let me mind you, me and my mom have been busting our butts in 90-something degree weather trying to get things done as she's standing there critiquing. Mother-in-law starts walking off and says, I'm gonna run to the store and find different decorations to help make it look cute.
Okay.
I'm triggered. She left and never came back to help. Hours later, I'm getting ready for the big event. I have my makeup, hair, and dress on, about to start walking out the door. Mother-in-law finally shows back up around this time. She walks into the room that me and my bridesmaids are in and looks at me up and down and rolls her eyes and walks back out without saying a word.
Oh, I hate that so much.
Oh my God, that is so passive aggressive. I hate that.
Why do women do that?
To make them feel shitty about each other. You know what I mean? Like they do that to make you uncomfortable.
It's so passive aggressive. I hate it so much.
I hate it too. The up and down, dude. If the up and down isn't accompanied with a, oh my God, I love your dress. I'll give people the up and down too, but it's usually because I like what they're wearing. Avert your eyes. Up here.
Eye rolling is such a passive aggressive thing.
It is.
Have I ever done this to you? Actually, don't answer that. Let's move on.
All I can do is sit there and cry, feeling not good enough while my bridesmaids and mom are reassuring me she's just a bleep. She can suck an egg. Do we have any eggs back here?
I actually have
A chalk egg? Is that made of chalk?
I have a chalk egg.
You want to suck on the chalk egg? Just... You can suck on a chalk egg. After the ceremony, we all gathered under the gazebo for the reception. While my husband and I do the cake cutting, mother-in-law takes it upon herself to yell, I want to get in on this. She pushes me out of the way and grabs my husband's hand that is on the knife and turns to the camera and smiles. While she was doing that, she knocks over my cake. Yes, I have pictures of this. Of course, everyone there on her side of the family were laughing because they all know how crazy she is about her son. I don't find that funny at all.
Oh yeah, it's just her being crazy. Oh yeah,
hilarious.
classic Sharon.
Classic Sharon.
Just ruining her son's wedding.
Oh, so funny.
Oh my God, that $1,000 cake just fell on the floor. That should be in a sitcom. That's not funny.
As for me, my husband and my side of the family, pissed. I walked away and started talking to my mom about this, and she comforted me and told me to try to have fun. Then came the dancing. I had a list of 50s and 60s music. The DJ requested I give him Days Before the Wedding. Since my husband and I bond over this genre of music, I mean, so do we. That's like our favorite type of music.
Yes.
And a lot of the family there were older people. Can you take a wild guess who didn't like that?
Can I answer that?
Go ahead, yes.
Hi, so I think it was the mother-in-law.
You are correct. You get a gold star. Can we give him a gold star? Little did I know the DJ we hired went to high school with her. She made her own list of music to give to him. I was not aware of this. And at the wedding, she told the DJ I changed up my list and that I wanted her to give him this new list. It was all twerking music. Dude, your mother-in-law played WAP.
Honestly, I found myself singing that song yesterday. It was stuck in my head.
That song honestly slaps, but that's for like after the grandparents go to bed. You know what I mean?
But the fact that your mom put that on?
Yeah, that's weird as f. The first song, she grabbed my husband and started rubbing up and down. Rubbing up and down, going crazy, twerking and all the things. Oh no.
Oh God, why?
My husband is a nerd and doesn't like attention, by the way. He doesn't have to be a nerd to not like that.
I'll speak for everyone here. Nobody would
Nobody
like that.
wants that.
No.
Not a single person wants their mom to twerk on them.
Are you sure about that?
My husband just stood there in embarrassment. I went back over to my mom and told her I was done and wanted to leave. So we ended the wedding short. I don't feel like this is fair to you, girl. This is the recovering people pleaser shit. I understand everybody's afraid of being a bridezilla, but this is your wedding and there's clearly someone there who's ruining it.
Kick her out.
Kick her out. Stand up for yourself. If you don't want to do it, get someone in your family, your bridesmaids, someone to stick up for you. Get rid of her and enjoy your fucking wedding. Because if you don't stick up for yourself now, she's gonna do this for the rest of your life.
Exactly, and it's your day. It's not hers.
I'm so passionate about this. My mother-in-law to this day rubs it in my face and has not apologized. She even blew up a picture of her father-in-law and my husband and the other sons at our wedding without me in it and frames it on her living room wall. A month later, we were eating dinner at my in-laws' house. Okay, I'm sorry, I will also add here, I really don't like how no one is sticking up for you. I really don't like that your mom is not doing more. I don't like that your husband's not doing more. I don't like that your friends are not doing more.
Was there no fallout?
I really don't like this at all.
Your husband not say anything to his mother?
My husband's cousin got married that past weekend. She had the exact same dress as me, and my mother-in-law said to her mother, oh, doesn't she just look so perfect in that dress? She wore it better than anyone else could. You're done.
You're done. You're
Off
dead
with
to
your
me.
head.
You're dead to me.
My hubby stood stood up, grabbed my hand, and walked out of her house because she was over it. Okay, finally, he does something. We just kind of deal with her for our kids at this point.
I guess like you have optimism that they'll work it out, but if she's still throwing shade like that, that's bullshit.
I understand you're trying to keep the peace, but it's like, at what cost? It's your own mental health that's at risk. Your own wedding was ruined because you weren't willing to stick up for yourself. Everyone around you weren't willing to stick up for you. Like, it's just not fair. I don't like that. Why would you expose your children to such continually crappy behavior? And that's another point, right? Because your kids are going to be around this.
And they think they can start talking to people like that.
Yeah, they're going to start imitating her. And just, why would you want to subject yourself to continually crappy behavior?
Well, it's scary to stand up to your mother-in-law or to stand up to someone, right? Because like you want the family to get along, but at a certain point,
there'll be a big blowout fight, but then, you know, you'll be fine in a couple of months. Then she'll know that you... Then she'll know that she can't push you around. Like, she's literally bullying you, dude. Stand up for yourself, girl!
Speaking of which, I think my mom has made a playlist for the wedding. I hope you're okay with that. We'll talk about this later.
You need to get your husband on board with cutting his mother out of your lives entirely. Low contact, honestly, at the very most. She's toxic and will teach your kids unacceptable behavior. Your lives will be so much better without her in it. Tell the rest of the family you won't attend any events she's at, and you're happy to have a relationship with them away from her, provided they don't try and give her a way to weasel back in. I'm sure you looked amazing. I'm so sorry she bullied you like that at your wedding, and that's what's up. Bottom line, she's a bully.
We don't like bullies here.
My sister and her now ex-husband basically ruined our wedding. This happened a few years back, but I've only just discovered this sub and I thought it might fit in here. There are a couple parts to this and it's hard to know where to start, so I'll just jump in. Just dive right in, honey. Just dive right on in. I'm right here to listen to you. My sister has a photography business and she's a talented photographer with a decent portfolio. So I asked her if she would do our wedding photos. I told her I understood if she just wanted to enjoy the wedding, but it would be really meaningful for me for her to do them. She goes right into talking price with me, which threw me for a bit of a loop, but I wasn't about to ask her to do it for free. I understand she has a business. Just prior to my asking, she had gifted her services to a couple she was friends with, but told me she was going to charge me for the photos. Kind of hurt my feelings, but I'd already asked, and she was going to give me a great deal. Okay, we should never assume that people are going to do things for free for us, but I can see based on how that worked out with the other couple that you would have assumed. I told her that since money was tight at the time that I wouldn't be able to pay her right away, but we agreed on a date in the future and it was settled. Everything was cool and we didn't really discuss it again until shortly before the big day, and that was just to nail down timing. She was excited and so was I. The day of my wedding comes and she's nowhere to be found. What? So wait, she's your sister and she's working the wedding and she's nowhere to be found? We're calling and texting her, no answer. She finally shows up about an hour late. No apology or explanation offered. Okay, like I know she's your sister, but like highly unprofessional, especially, you know, you're paying her, so irritating, but this is a happy day, so whatever, I move past it. I ask her what the plan is, how do we go about this? She asks me for a shot list, something I've never heard of, and she's never mentioned prior to that moment. Yeah, that needs to be discussed prior, and also, if you're a photographer, just do it. Get your shit done. She then proceeds to berate me for not having provided it to her, huffing and puffing and essentially having a fit over my lack of preparedness. Interesting, coming from someone who shows up an hour late to a job. I try to move past it and I come up with the order of the photos on the fly. Mom here, dad there, so-and-so grouped for this shot, that one, etc. We got through it with some great family shots that I ended up being really happy with, so no big deal. We got through all the family photos throughout our unexpectedly short ceremony, I'll come back to this, and some nice ones of my new wife and I shortly after the ceremony. It's nice and I'm having the time of my life. Then my sister tells me she needs to leave right before the reception. Okay. She and a friend had plans to camp nearby that day. We were up in the PNW mountains in the middle of the summer, so there were lots of nice places to do this nearby and she needed to go meet them. I was pretty upset about that for a number of reasons. Number one, she's your sister and she's not staying for the rest of your wedding. Number two, she's someone that you hired to be there for your wedding. And honestly, reception photos are like some of the best ones that you can get because everybody hammered. Everybody let loose. 1, she's my only older sister and I wanted her to be there. 2, there will now be no photos of the reception or anything after the ceremony. 3, she made plans to go camping on the same day as my wedding. She can't cancel that? What the fuck? Anyways, she takes a plate of food and rushes off, leaving her husband and the rest of us at the wedding. So her husband stayed and she didn't? That's so weird. Some context on this. Just prior to the wedding, she and her husband had been having some issues and I was close with him too. So I was talking to them both a lot about what they could do to work it out. But despite everything, she tells me 2 days before my wedding that she's going to ask for a divorce. I asked her to play nice and not to make a thing of it at my wedding, which she's not really having open ears to, saying she's not going to talk to him at the wedding, but that she won't make a scene, as if that's going to be comfortable for me or anyone else. I beg her to please just be normal and not drag their issues onto the day that's supposed to be about my wife and I. She basically shrugs it off. The day before the wedding, she unexpectedly served him with divorce papers. Wow. Oh, you couldn't have waited, could ya? Couldn't have just waited just a day or two. You know, until after the wedding. As if it couldn't wait a few days or weeks. Crazy selfish, but I can't do anything about it. It's their life. So this drama is definitely clouding the happy day for me and my immediate family. It's a major bummer. Because of their sudden split, she decided, without telling him and for reasons that will become clear later, that they're not coming to the wedding together. I'm not sure why that would have mattered since they both had vehicles, but he was very late and blamed it on his sudden change of plans. This is important because he had a role to play in the ceremony itself. He's a fantastic singer and musician, and I had asked him to perform a song as a part of the ceremony. He and I went over the arrangement together. It was all planned out, timed out, and everything. I could have done it myself, but I just knew he could do it better and I wanted to include him. So I didn't prepare to do it, I left it up to him. When the time for the ceremony came, he was still nowhere to be found, and my sister wasn't saying anything about where he might be. So we ended up making the very, very last minute decision to scrap that part of the ceremony, which took all sorts of sudden and stressful restructuring. He showed up in the middle of the ceremony and I didn't even notice him come in. Later, he basically said that because my sister left without him, he couldn't make it on time. Oh God. Seriously? Your sister is so selfish, dude. Like, it's almost like she had her own like relationship problems going on and she could not be happy for you in that moment. And it's like she tried to sabotage it. He had his own car and it was pretty clear to me that he pulled all of that as a stunt to make her feel guilty. Oh. He screwed a part of the ceremony that was really important to me to make her feel bad. He didn't apologize for being late. He blamed it on her. Okay, so they both suck. Got it. Good. Good. They deserve each other, honestly. The ceremony's over and we're on to the reception. My sister was left and her husband's still there. They both put a damper on things in general and that sucked, but it gets worse. A few weeks after the wedding, my wife is anxiously asking me when we can see the photos. Oh no, she went camping. Oh no, there was rain. Oh no, she ruined them. Oh no. Say it isn't so, no. She's excited, so am I. So I reached out to my sister to ask her if we can see a few. She links me to her business Facebook page where she's already posted them with watermarks without mentioning to us at all that they were available or asking if we were okay with her sharing them. Frustrating, but again, we were just happy to see them and happy to be newly married, so we kind of brush it off. As a few more weeks go by and photos kept popping up here and there on various social media platforms and pages for her personal and professional profiles, we're getting annoyed and anxious, so I ask her again. She tells me that unless I pay her by the end of the week, she's not going to share them with us. Keep in mind that we had agreed upon a specific day to pay, which was still in the distant future. I'm like, what the But she says that she has a business to run, and if I'm not going to pay her by the end of the week, she'll just delete them and forget she ever took them. Her actual words. Oh my God. Seriously? What is your freaking problem, dude? Sisters, eh? These are the only photos of my wedding. The only ones. Not only did she them by showing up late and unprepared, but she also left early and missed the entire reception, and now she's holding them over my head for money. I mean, you're kind of like in a crappy position because like, yes, you hired her, but like she wasn't there for the agreed upon time, and now she's not giving you the photos?
Dude.
And now she's straight up shaking me down for them. I was in total disbelief. She goes on to talk about how it was a business expense for her to come and take them, and it's wrong for me to expect artists to work for free. A business expense to come to her brother's wedding. I mean, you didn't expect them for free. You said that you would pay her at a later date, right? I'm not an a-hole here. I understand I shouldn't ask for things for free, but if it was the other way around, I would have done it for her without even a question of money. When she got married a few years prior, I called in a favor to hook her up with a DJ and a sound system for free. I provided a bunch of the food and beverages for her reception out of my own pocket, and I recruited my bandmates to help with some of the setup, followed by all of the cleanup. That's another story, but I busted my ass at her wedding and I was happy to have even the opportunity to contribute to her day. My goodness. Well, that definitely colors the situation, adds a little color No wonder you were confused as to why she wanted to charge you. It's kind of like if someone asks me to be an MC at their wedding, and if I like charge for public speaking events. I'm sorry, but if they're a close friend, no, I'm not charging them to speak at their wedding. Like, no, give me a break. And it's your own sister, like your family? Oh my God. Anyway, she's telling me she's going to permanently destroy irreplaceable and priceless photos of my wife and I on our wedding day if I don't pay her right away. I was furious, but borrowed the money from my dad to pay her, got the photos, and cut off contact. That was 3 years ago, and she's still going around to folks I know, old bandmates, friends, and acquaintances, and telling them the story from her perspective about how I tried to cheat her to get free wedding photos. Something even more ridiculous about the photos? It was only for $300. Wait, I thought that you were talking about like thousands and thousands of dollars. $300? Whoa, that definitely adds context. Because like, if that's what she charges for weddings, or she charged you, why are you throwing that hissy fit over $300? That might be a lot of money for some people, but I'm sorry. Wedding photos are usually like thousands of dollars. $300? I'm sure you probably spent that amount of money with her wedding, maybe more. At that time, it was hard for me to come up with it out of nowhere. When I think about it now, that's a pittance to throw away a relationship with your brother over. I know this is insanely long, but remember the friend she was camping with she needed to rush off and meet? The plans that were more important than her brother's wedding? Yeah, that was her boss that she'd been for 3 months. Oh my God. My goodness. He was waiting for her at a nearby campsite he'd set up while she was at the wedding. The reason she was late in the first place was because she'd taken the time to drop him and their camping gear off before she came up to the wedding. Found out later that my teenage sister was the only one who knew my older sister was cheating and had to carry that lie around for months. My sister ended up marrying that guy last year. I wasn't invited. Edit 2. There's something extra worth noting here. My sister and I have an estranged father who was extremely abusive to my mother and who I didn't want to have any information about me or how my life is going now. I had asked her to keep the photos out of public social media and to keep him from knowing. So she's sharing them with the world before my wife and I was a total slap in the face in that regard. Okay. Are you the a-hole? Are you the a-hole? I will say that it's never good to expect anything for free. I personally would not want to to take photos of any of my friends' weddings that I would have been invited to anyway. It's a lot of work to take photos at a wedding. Like, I don't think that people realize how much work it actually is, how much equipment you have to bring. It's stressful because it's like if you get anything wrong, if a battery dies, if a card gets full and you don't have extras, you have to go and delete it. It's stressful. Like, I am smelly after I used to shoot weddings. But she did have the opportunity to say no, and she took on the responsibility. So that's her first fault. If she didn't want to be there for you to take photos on your wedding day, then she shouldn't have agreed to it. Then in accepting the job, not showing up on time, terrible. Like, you're missing parts of the wedding that you should be taking photos of. You're leaving the wedding early to go and be with your boss who you're cheating on with, where you're also not getting pictures of the reception. She agreed to wait to get paid and then was now holding them over your head and threatening you. I don't know, man. She kind of sounds like I would have written a scathing review on her business. Sister gives free services to another couple but charges her own brother. Showed up late, went home early. Served divorce papers day of my wedding, making her divorced husband late as he was performing in the wedding. Threatens to delete all evidence of the wedding until I paid her before our agreed due date for services. And if you really want to add fire to the flame, if she's cheating on her husband, she'll probably be late to your wedding and leave early before the reception too.
Oh, that's the kicker, yeah.
The fact that she was cheating on her husband tells me all I need to know about this person. I don't think you can really trust her to be a good person.
You can't.
All expectation of being a good person goes out the window. In short, don't hire her when her own brother won't even use her again. $300 for half services, and the only thing I get to show for it is my half-taken wedding photos and no contact relationship. OP responds, I did consider this, and my wife really wanted us to post something, but it felt a little bit like bombing for peace, you know? I mean, at the end of the day, like, you hired her to do a job, and she didn't do it properly. People should know that that's what they're getting themselves into. This is why family and business shouldn't mix, and sometimes sisters are the biggest a-holes you will ever encounter. I honestly could not agree with this statement more. Like, I understand you did all this nice stuff for her, but like, Speaking from experience, involving family and business together is just not a good idea. Number one, it's almost like because your family, this goes for friends too, by the way, because your family, people feel like they don't need to work as hard as if it was someone that you hired that wasn't your family or your friend, which is evident in the fact that she showed up late, didn't really care to apologize. She left early, didn't really care to apologize for that either. And furthermore, there is no way in hell that she would do the whole blackmail or I'll delete your photos thing to like an actual customer. Like there's no way. But because you're brother and sister, that somehow it's like normal behavior. Your sister is absolutely terrible, but you should never have asked her to be your photographer. That's a move. Being a wedding photographer is a hard and arduous task, and you don't get a moment to enjoy the wedding. That's why you're an employee and not a guest. She did have the option to say no, though, bestie. She did. You basically asked your sister if she'd be okay with being demoted from guest to employee and are annoyed she wouldn't do that for free. So if we're on a certain sub, this would be everyone sucks here. Your sister was atrocious, but so were you. There you go. There are definitely some people who think that this could have been done differently. Not to mention asking her to delay her divorce for his convenience, while putting the husband she wanted to leave in the ceremony itself, which may have been a factor in her not wanting to stay for the ceremony. Oh, that's some tea there. That's some tea. And saying that he didn't expect her to do it for free, but also he was shocked that she wanted money and he didn't have a budget for even a fraction of what a wedding photographer costs. This is what was like very confusing to me. If she charged him $300, I just find that strange that he put up a fuss over $300. Like it goes both ways. Like, yes, she ruined a relationship over $300, but he also somehow didn't have the money to pay his own sister $300. There certainly wouldn't be very many wedding photographers who would agree to do a wedding for $300. I think the lowest I ever did one for was $650, and that was my first wedding ever. For those of you who think that that's expensive, I'm sorry, but like it's like a 12-hour day, plus it takes like 30 hours to edit all the photos. Like at that point, $650 divided by 45 hours, $14 an hour. Okay, that's less than minimum wage in Ontario. As far as holding the photos over his head for money, he wouldn't have gotten any photos for free from a different photographer either. He talks about her not extending generosity to family, but he sure wasn't treating her like a loving brother either in this. Very good point, very good point. Honestly, your sister's being like she was being but you also didn't behave in a way that was ideal either. Like I think maybe from her point of view, she doesn't understand how her own brother couldn't afford to pay her $300 for this like long day of work. She also shouldn't have agreed to do it if she wasn't going to do it properly. But I don't know, kind of seems like the sister sucks, the brother also kind of sucks. You let me know what you think though. Happy to hear your opinions. Drama dump. My sister is awful. My sister, 36 female, is my 34 female maid of honor. She created a lot of drama surrounding my wedding. I became engaged in 2021 and immediately started looking at venues. My fiance and I live in a vacation destination in Florida. My sister lives in Nashville. Everyone else invited to the wedding lives in Chicago. Wedding will be in Florida, June 2023, but
Pre-wedding events will be in Chicago.
we chose our venue because my fiance loved it. He hasn't had a lot of opinions or requests, so I couldn't say no. Upon booking my wedding venue, I was nervous because the ceremony room had a max capacity of 100 people. We are inviting 150 people, all from out of state. I guess wait and see who says yes. I mean, it's a destination wedding, so it's quite possible that a lot of people will say no. My backup plan, if we exceeded the 100 people, was to hire entertainment for the kids during the ceremony. My sister, who has the youngest kids, agreed to this idea, but says she doesn't believe we will get close to 100 people. I booked the venue and moved forward with our plans. I even called some parents who are bringing their kids, and they were all comfortable with this idea as well. I then decided to plan a trip home and do a bridal dress fitting with my parents, siblings, and my bridesmaids. My sister decided to use that weekend to have a late birthday party for her son, since the whole family was going to be together. I was excited and welcoming to do both that weekend. My sister then demanded my parents cook and everyone help with the decorations. She invited 200 people. For a kid's birthday party? Like, are you freaking for real right now? Oh my God. What? That's more than your wedding. The party became such a big event, everyone had to cancel on my dress appointment to help her get ready for this party. I went to the dress appointment with 2 friends and ended up crying at how let down I was. I didn't buy a dress that day. I mean, how can you buy a dress if you're crying and not for the right reasons. You know what I mean? Can't even see yourself. You're just sobbing. Tears. So many tears. My sister, out of possible guilt, flew to Florida to go dress shopping, just the two of us. When we got to the boutique, she immediately sat on the couch and started scrolling through her phone. I tried to redirect her attention with, check this dress out, or isn't this nice? She gave one-word answers and went back to her phone. Oh, she doesn't like that you're getting married, bestie. I then tried on 4 dresses. One I absolutely loved. It was what I wanted. My sister pointed out my body insecurities and recommended I try on a dress that I felt incredibly uncomfortable in. Oh, absolutely not.
What? You said that you liked the dress. That's all that matters.
I mentioned I didn't feel good in it, and she got defensive, saying,
you wanted my input and now you don't like it.
Input does not mean insulting people and pointing out all the things wrong with that person, especially if they like the way they look. Read the room, bestie. Months go by, I start going over wedding details, when do I need to fly home for events, and my sister gets pregnant. She tells me that the last 8 months of my wedding planning, she will be unavailable because of pregnancy and a newborn. I understood. I suggest we do an engagement party instead of a bridal shower later when she's unavailable. She agrees. She then dumped all of the responsibilities onto another bridesmaid. My bridesmaid planned the entire event. I promoted her to second maid of honor to show my appreciation. After the engagement party, I made thank you cards to save money. I thought they came out nice and I was really proud of them. My sister made side comments about how they were tacky, and for her wedding, she's gonna hire someone to do that for her. But you made them yourself. Oh God, what is her problem? God, sisters, eh? Can't live with them, can't live without them. Well, I don't have a sister, so I can very clearly live without one, but why are they all just so bitchy? Not all of them, but like a lot are very Few months later, she has the baby. She asked me to come and stay with her for 2 months to help her and her husband during this time. Interesting that she now needs help when she refused to offer her help. I work from home, so I agreed, but only for 1 month. I said I needed to be home for Christmas because my fiance is alone. When I arrived, I cooked, cleaned, spent nights in the hospital, drove her kids to school, changed diapers, did laundry. My sister was recovering from surgery and would make comments about how dinner was bland or how I folded the laundry wrong.
You do it then! Hire a maid!
Her husband was no help. He watched sports all day. My family came down to help the last week I was there. Everyone kept making comments to me whenever I would mention the wedding. As soon as the new year starts, we will be ready to talk about the wedding. Meanwhile, my planner is pushing for me to hire vendors because we have 5-ish months until the wedding. Yeah, she does not like that you're the center of attention, does she? I avoid talking about the wedding until after the new year. We hired dueling pianos to play, and they want us to pick our music early, so the piano players have time to learn the songs they don't know. I asked my sister if she wants to help, and she says,
well, what are the song options?
And I said, we can choose any songs we want. She then tells me to create a list of options for her and she'll choose. I said, if I'm going to do all that, I don't need your help. I just thought it would be fun to do it together. Funny how she expected all of this help for her, but when you ask her for small, simple favors, she refuses. But just like, sometimes I read these and I'm like, do sisters just like hate each other? Like siblings, do they just like hate each other secretly or not so secretly? Because this doesn't seem like it's a secret. I start looking up florists and I ask my sister to help me go through the Pinterest board to lower the volume of photos I send to florists as an inspiration. After seeing them, she says, I'm not sure how to help you. None of the photos are stunning. I tell her that's rude. And she says, what? They're hideous. I'm not allowed to have an opinion? I stop asking for help from her. God, somebody is jealous. Jealous, so jealous. She then starts planning the bachelorette party. Oh wow, she's doing something great. I tell her multiple times that I want to be involved. She insists that brides are not involved. It's a surprise. I don't like surprises, especially not surprises done by people who secretly hate me. I tell her I'm not interested in a surprise. She doesn't hear me. Then I find out she's planning a bachelorette party in Nashville. My bridesmaids are calling me to tell me they can't afford a trip to Nashville a month before a trip to Florida. I contact my sister and I tell her I want to do the party in Chicago. My sister is in Chicago every other week for work, so it's easiest on everyone. My sister, out of suspected spite, starts planning a party at the worst bar in our hometown. Oh no. God, is she just trying to sabotage everything? My bridesmaids start fighting with her about the location, saying I would hate it. Everyone hates this bar. I call my sister and reiterate that I want to be involved. She demands that I stay out of it. Absolutely not, you bitch. To avoid further drama, I omit that the bridesmaids are telling me what's going on and I tell my sister I want to go to a piano bar since we have dueling pianos at our wedding. It's the perfect way to get everyone excited about the wedding. Also, since we have 2 junior bridesmaids, I'd like to do something with them before we go out. Maybe a potluck at someone's house. She ignores me and continues with her plans. No, she's gonna go there herself and be there by herself. My second maid of honor reaches out to the piano bar and won a free party for the Saturday of the party. My sister then tells everyone she's unavailable Saturday because she has to drive home. We can only do Friday. Now I have to miss work to fly in and it's a huge inconvenience, but I'm trying to keep the peace. My second maid of honor graciously offered to pay for the piano bar for all the girls on Friday to accommodate my sister's schedule. Oh, it's all about the sister, eh? It's just all about the sister and what the sister wants. You would think the sister was getting married with all of these issues. At this point, I don't understand why you're accommodating for someone who doesn't even really want to be there. Let me guess, she canceled. Also, to include the kids and parents in the weekend plans, we have a 10 a.m. paint party Saturday morning. I can't even enjoy Friday fully because I have to be up early with kids and the family the next morning. My sister said to me on accident that she's mad at her husband and might fly to Chicago for the bachelorette party. I think, oh my God, that would make everyone's life easier. Before I could say anything, she said, oh, but I can't do that. I have plans with my friends in Chicago Saturday night, so I need my car. I finally broke, and I told her how we're moving everything around for her, and now she's staying in Chicago. I tell her I'm upset. The plans aren't really what's best for everyone, but what's best for her. She then blames everything on my bridesmaids, saying, I never said I couldn't do Saturday.
Your second maid of honor is creating lies. I'm your sister. Who are you going to believe?
I have messages between my sister where she told me directly she's unavailable Saturday because she has to drive home. I suggest we move the plans to Saturday then. Since she's now available, she says no because now she has plans. Oh, brother, literally just don't come at this point. Like, why? Why do you even want this person there? Who cares? Some time passes, the drama settles down, we start getting our RSVPs back. We have 108 yes RSVPs, 17 of those are children. We're waiting on 60 more RSVPs and currently have a 90% yes rate. My planner tells me I need to secure the entertainment and sitters for the kids during the ceremony. To clarify, this is in the same building and we were hiring licensed professionals as required by state law. Also, the ceremony is only 20 minutes and the newborn does not have to go since he's a baby. I casually mentioned to my sister that I'm moving forward with the sitters since we are over capacity. She has a full-blown meltdown. Really? Really? I would never expect this from such an individual. She sounds so easygoing, so out of character for her. She called everyone in our family and tells them that I'm a bridezilla and I think she's a bad mom. She calls up some guests with kids who then call me and start saying they are no longer comfortable with this plan. They previously liked the idea. Each person I talk to refused to hear me out. They just plead with me to drop it for now. Things will work themselves out. Meanwhile, my planner is pushing for us to secure something. My fiance and I are losing sleep over the repeated drama with my sister. We decide to move the ceremony. When we start looking, we can't find a single venue close to the reception. Everything is 30 plus minutes away. My parents tell me that an offsite ceremony is too much for an out-of-town wedding. My fiance and I make the judgment call to move our entire wedding to a new venue. We had to pay the full price of the old venue, and the new venue is 3 times more expensive. We had to order and mail new invitations, work with new room blocks, notify all our vendors, and pay additional travel costs to the existing vendors. But I'm happy with this decision because my sister and I are getting along again, and everyone in the family backed off me for my original wedding venue plans. Fast forward to last week, my water heater broke and flooded the apartment, ruined all of my DIY wedding decor. I called my sister up crying. I'm overwhelmed. She offers no support, empathy, or compassion. Then asked me if I will call the second maid of honor to ask about something bachelorette party related because she refuses to communicate with her further. I'm getting stressed out just reading this. Like, thank God it's almost finished. Mind you, my sister is still pushing the narrative that I'm not involved. I ask her to directly to communicate with her because I have a lot going on. She accuses me of siding with the second maid of honor, is now saying she's not going to the wedding. Oh, good. Oh no. Please come to the wedding. You're just such a joy to read about and have in my presence. God damn it. Please. Go away. Good. Literally good. Wow. This is so awful that even my usually b***ness is failing me. Why are you still trying with your sister? She's clearly against you in every possible way. Drop contact with her before she sabotages your whole wedding, maybe? OP responds, I want to go no contact, but when I've done that in the past, I lose contact with my whole family. She has the grandbaby, so my parents prioritize her over me. I should revisit this idea, though, or look for healthier ways to stop expecting her to change. Or just don't expect her to do anything ever. Do not lean on her for anything. Do not ask for her opinion. Do not ask her for help. Consider yourselves acquaintances, because anyone, family, friend, partner, anyone who causes this amount of, like, I'm stressed out just reading. Like, I'm so glad that this story is over because I was stressed out reading that whole thing. Anyone that causes this much stress for you does not belong in your life. Don't get me wrong. You're my sister, you're my brother, you're my good friend, you're my family, you're my spouse, whatever. I'm here for you if things go wrong. But if you are a constant source of stress in my life, I don't need you. Don't have to go no contact, but low contact is your best friend. Subscribe!